Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to turn your kelp farm into an unlimited fuel source in Minecraft. Yeah! Whether you're tired of mining coal or just want a fully automated setup, this kelp powered auto smelter is super efficient and works in all Bedrock versions 1.21 and up.
Excellent.
Let's jump in and turn those kelp stacks into endless fuel. So to get the best results, you have to understand the mechanics of kelp smelting. One block of dried kelp will smelt 20 items. Knowing this and using a minecart with hopper, fortunately breaks it down into a number that's divisible by 8. A minecart with hopper will hold 320 items. So we're going to develop a redstone system that fills up a minecart with hopper and then distributes that to 8 smokers. And the way to do that is to use our detector rails with some comparators. So I've placed down some temporary blocks, and then on those temporary blocks, I'm going to add some of these permanent blocks here. And the reason I'm using wool is because I like the fact that if you hit wool, it doesn't fall apart right away. So underneath our chest where the kelp is getting gathered, we're going to place down a detector rail underneath this chest. And then we're going to place another temporary rail right here. And that's the angle you want this rail to be at so that the minecart with hopper can get stuck underneath here. Now go ahead and place down a powered rail here. We can remove this rail and then replace that with a block so that the minecart with hopper doesn't get stuck up inside there. And then from here, we can hold shift and place down a fence gate coming off of our chest. And when that opens and closes, that's going to release the minecart with hopper. Now we can place some blocks down here. And coming off our detector rail, we can go ahead and place a comparator facing out. Add a few more blocks here and place down your redstone. And anytime a minecart goes inside here and touches this detector rail, it'll turn on this comparator, which will send a redstone signal up to this fence gate, opening it up and allowing it to go in and out. But we don't want that to happen every time. We don't want this to open and close, open and close. We want it to stop and sit here until it's full. You have to run a redstone signal into the comparator that's a full strength. And the easiest way to do that is just to place a redstone block next to the comparator and then place a piece of redstone dust. Now we're going to build the redstone for the smokers. We're going to add a few more blocks here. We're going to place some regular rails next to this block here. Then we can place a powered rail here and a detector rail here. Fill the rest in with powered rails. And what's nice about this is you can control the direction of these rails by simply adding redstone power to it. And the way I can demonstrate is I can put a lever here on the side, and if I hit that lever, you can see that the rail changes direction. So in a sense, if this detector rail sees that the minecart has items in it, it will stay this way. And then once it's empty, it'll turn on that redstone pulse, sending it back up to sit in here until it's full again.
Wow.
So we're going to place down a block here. And coming off of our detector rail, we're going to add down a comparator. Then off the comparator, we'll place down a block. And we can place down a few more blocks right here. Have a redstone torch coming off of this block here. And then just fill in the rest with redstone dust. And you can see that the rail changed direction as soon as I put that piece of redstone down. So to put our smokers in, we're going to place down a few temporary blocks here. Then on top of those, add a double chest. And then add 8 hoppers going into that double chest. Now go ahead and place your smokers on top of each one of the hoppers. And then hoppers going into each smoker. We can add 6 more powered rails and 2 regular rails at the end. Now we just need to power these rails. There's several different ways to do that. I just like putting some blocks above here. So we place 2 blocks down and then just place 2 levers on those redstone lamps and turn them on. Now the next part is to take that extra fuel we have, distribute it back into the system. So this is self-sustaining, and then use whatever's left over for a super smelter right in here. So let's build the redstone for that. Once the system's up and running, all we're going to have in this chest is dried kelp. We need to make that into dried kelp block so we can use it as fuel. And the easiest way to automate that is to use the new crafter. So we're going to go ahead and place a crafter here, 1 block down and out from our chest. Then we can stick a hopper going into that crafter. And then to power the crafter, all we need to do is put down 2 observers so that they're facing each other and the redstone pulse is hitting the crafter. Now the crafter will craft 9 pieces of dried kelp into a kelp block. Once that's crafted, it'll go into this chest here. And from here, we want to take half of our kelp, put it back into the system, and then take the other half and place it into a super smelter. Directly under this chest, go ahead and place down a hopper going straight down. And then to the left of that, add another hopper looking straight down 1 block below. Under your chest with hopper, go ahead and place a hopper into this hopper. And then come to each side, place down temporary blocks. Double chest on those temporary blocks. And then hoppers going into each one of those double chests. To set up our redstone, we're going to place down a block in front of our hopper here on the right side. Then from behind, go ahead and place down a repeater looking into that block with a piece of redstone dust coming off that repeater. We'll place down another block, redstone dust on top of that, a block above that, a slab on the upper half of this hopper, and then on top of this slab, we're going to place a comparator so that it's comparing what's inside of this hopper here. So the two prongs are facing next to this hopper. And then on our front side, all we need to do is place down a redstone torch and a block on top of that redstone torch. And that's it. Now, every time something enters this chest, this redstone circuit will split it up in half. To demonstrate this, let's stick our golden carrots in here. You see them starting to get distributed. We've got some on that side, and we've got 20 on this side. And now we can take this fuel line, run it back into this system, and use this fuel line to power our smelting area. So to get your items from down here to up here, you can build this item elevator. And if you check out the link above, I have a video on how to build this. And basically all I did was take out the chest that was facing here and place in 3 hoppers going into this elevator system. Head over to your smokers and add a hopper going into each smoker. Now build yourself a floor by placing blocks adjacent to the hoppers. Coming off of our hopper elevator system, go ahead and place down a block, a detector rail here, and a temporary rail here. Now place down a powered rail. We could remove this temporary rail and then add a double chest. Going into that double chest, add a hopper. Then coming off of this detector rail, we're going to add a comparator so that it's facing out like that. We'll place down some blocks. 2 pieces of redstone, a block, redstone torch coming off that block on top of the redstone torch, and 3 blocks here. Place down a fence gate on your chest, a redstone torch coming off of this block, a repeater, and a piece of redstone dust. Now what this circuit will do is once it detects a minecart hopper with about 22 to 23 items in it, it will open up this fence gate, dispensing those 22 to 23 kelp blocks into our furnace system. And now we can add our rails. So go to your hoppers and add powered rails on top of each hopper. We can connect those powered rails with regular rails. 2 here and 2 on the other side. 4 more powered rails. And then connect this with regular rails. We can add a regular rail, a powered rail, a block. Add a lever to that block and turn it on. That'll power this side of the rails. Add 2 more redstone lamps, and then levers on both those, turn them on. Now to get it started, we're going to add about 8 pieces of coal in each one of our smokers. Now place down your minecart with hopper, and we can place one here as well. Now this is starting to fill up very fast, and once it's 100% full, it'll start distributing all the kelp into our smokers. And off it goes. Smokers, they're starting to fill in the kelp blocks. And you can see our comparator turned on. And we've got our first dried kelp block into the system. Once this gets about 20, it'll take off and start filling the rest of our smokers up with fuel. And if we come down and look on here on our other side, we've got an extra supply of kelp. And there you have it. Your kelp farm is now a self-sustaining fuel machine. If you enjoyed today's tutorial, make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. And if you have got questions or ideas for future videos, drop those in the comments as well. I read them all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.